Ladies, gentlemen, Twitter bots, Twitter trolls, burner accounts, welcome into the EJC NFL pod. I got a little popski already from Cam. What are you up to, Cam? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I can't complain. Again, I'm not stealing Jason's lines anymore. I'm feeling
That's
good.
good.
I'm
It
out here in
looks
nature.
nice outside. It looks nice out. I've heard some birds chirping already.
Yeah, man. Out here in beautiful Memphis weather, man. Like it was 40 some a few days ago, and then today it hit 80. So we'll see where it goes from here.
It'll be 22 tonight
Mm-hmm.
and sleety. What's up, Jason? How you living?
Oh, I'm just living strong, my friend.
My man, he flexed on you. So
right quick.
yes,
I feel like
real quick. So this dude had the audacity to fucking. We made a little phone call before this just to check up, make sure everybody was ready to go, and then Eric's on there fucking doing his flies and shit with his barbells. He's like, I ain't flexing on you guys. I'm just working out. We're like, obviously you planned this.
y'all tried to move. Y'all moved our scheduled time like literally an hour forward. I was trying to get a workout in FF. There's some hashtag going around there, like hashtag FF Fantasy Fit Club, or I don't know, something like that. That's going around Twitter. So no, I can't either, but I'm trying to get there. But anyways, we got a good show for y'all. Enough of us bantering and being stupid. We got a good show for y'all. We're going to be talking about overvalued. Let's put it this way: way too early before the draft. Overvalued, undervalued players we saw on the Fantasy Pros expert consensus rankings. So we got a couple. I've got two apiece. I think Cam may have like 3. Jason has 16. He's going to talk about it. It's going to be awesome. But before we get to that, I did want to talk about one thing. Obviously, the big trade that happened. You talking good? We're talking about
good.
You talking good? All right, these are what happened. Obviously, yesterday the big trade that went down. Sam Darnold traded to the Carolina Panthers for the 6th rounder this year, which is 226 overall, and a 2022 second round and a 2022 4th rounder. Jason, I'll go to you first. What did you think about that trade?
Well, first, as a Titans fan, I was extremely offended by all of the Ryan Tannehill comparisons. But then I sat and I thought and I wept and I realized that it's actually it might actually be true, and this might actually be the best thing they could have done. They're still the 6th pick, is that right? Or 8? Where are they at in the draft order?
The Jets are number.
Yeah.
You talking about Carolina or
no? The Panthers. The Panthers.
They're still number 8.
They're still number 8. Okay.
Yep.
So I mean, you can still get a guy, and that's what's really killer about the whole situation. I think that team's had a problem for years now, ever since Cam. So I wasn't a big Teddy guy. You knew that. So it feels good to be right.
There you go. What do you think happens to Teddy Bridgewater now, Cam? Does he get traded away? Does he stay there trying to, I don't know, they make a quarterback competition? What happens?
Well, so what I had read earlier, he's actually one of my quarterbacks in Dynasty, unfortunately, is I read in a little news thing that they were confident in his abilities, but there would be a competition there, which was kind of vague. And so, I mean, I don't know what they're –
There's new news, Cam. I just heard it earlier.
Okay.
So they actually have allowed him to go out and seek his own trade. So he's able to speak with other teams now. So I think at this point the writing's on the wall.
Yeah. I don't after that, like here, they bring that guy in, and as much as everybody loves him, I'd probably hang it up to it. But let me go put some feelers out and see where I can go. Because I mean, let's be real, he didn't have the greatest season last year. So I mean, you bring in somebody like Darnold. I mean, really, what's his odds of starting this year? So yeah, what can you do?
No, I love it for Darnold and for Robbie Anderson. I think they could rekindle some legit chemistry they had in New York, especially if they've got away from the butthole clutches of Adam Gase, and, dragging everybody down, sending everyone into a shade of brown they don't want to be. So no, I'm excited. I'm excited for. I mean, honestly, all parties involved. It kind of sucks for Teddy, but honestly, Teddy's more of a backup talent, anyways. I think we can all agree on that at this point. Maybe he gets in a good situation and maybe makes himself a little bit of money, but he could have played himself into a big contract last year. He just didn't. So I'm all right with all that. I still think Carolina should take a should take a quarterback at 8 if the right opportunity, the right value falls to them there. But that's all I got for the news. Y'all have anything to add? Any new stuff, Jason? Did you want to talk about any new senior advisors to mediocre teams or anything like that?
Senior, but whatever. You can be upset about Jim Schwartz all you want. See, they did this with Dick LeBeau. I don't know, in the Jake Locker days, I think it was. They brought him in as a senior advisor, and basically the DC at the time, if he farted in the wrong direction, Dick LeBeau was going to get the job, and that's exactly what happened. So I think it's just one of those like really polite ways of saying we have a better guy now. We didn't expect to have this guy, so don't fuck up.
Gladys says she does not agree.
Gladys does not agree.
Oof.
That carries some weight, my friend.
It does. It's Gladys.
Let's get some insight.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly. Are you talking about for Teddy Bridgewater,
Yeah,
Gladys, or for?
Hey, Gladys.
Hey, Gladys.
Cam says,
I'm a fan of yours.
But that's all we got for new stuff. We'll see. I'll keep checking, see what Gladys was, what we're talking about there. But other than that, we're going to move on. Cam, I want to introduce this. No, Cam, you introduce this segment.
Bear facts. All right. So I just wanted a segment, and Eric was like, come up with something. And we made a pact that no matter what I came with, he couldn't deny it. So I came up with bear facts because
I regret this immediately.
I love bear facts. And so I'm just going to start out with a bear fact right off the bat here. While an adult grizzly has been recorded to eat 3,000 pounds of salmon, there are no records of a salmon eating a bear. Back to you, Eric.
Oh, that's awesome. And we got a reply from Gladys here, the Teddy backup. I mean,
okay, yeah, I agree. Oh, well, I agree. He could play somewhere. He could start somewhere.
He can. I mean, I don't think he's top 32 quarterbacks in the world for sure. I just, with all the rookie quarterbacks, all that that talent that's going to be out there, we'll see. We'll see.
Out of all the quarterbacks, he's definitely one of them.
He's definitely one of them.
Yep.
That is absolutely true. All right, so we're going to lead it. We're going to go ahead and get into the meat of this thing. We're going to be talking about overvalued, undervalued players based off of the ECR, the expert consensus rankings from Fantasy Pros. As of, I pulled mine, I think, yesterday, so they may be a little bit different, but I think we should start out with Jason on this one. Give me an overvalued player. Who did you find? Overvalued that you just disagree with.
I hope we can get the list out so that everyone can see what we were basing this off of. But if you could put that in the chat, it'd be wonderful.
Okay, yeah, let's see.
He barely got the tweet out. He didn't make the event. I doubt he's going to do that.
I fucking hate both of you.
This is my favorite day.
This ranking is kind of scary. I really don't know who made it or where it came from. Just kind of dug right into it and just immediately started disagreeing with everything. Eric, can you give us some?
Yeah, I can give you some insight on it. Yeah, so what it is, Fantasy Pros puts out this expert consensus rankings, and what it does is it takes, I think this one is like 40 experts or so, 44 I think was the number I saw. It takes 44 rankings, and it kind of makes an amalgamation of them and puts like standard deviation, all that stuff, but it basically gives you an average of 1 through, how many ever is out there for them. So it's not one individual's rankings, it's a group of people's. It'll tell you this is how high this guy is, this is the highest he's ranked, this is the lowest he's ranked, and it gives you a decent, I would say, kind of maybe a starting point for ADP, obviously not for redraft, but and it's really not a good starting point for ADP for Dynasty, but it does at least give us a starting point for value, how they're going to be potentially valued, at least right now before the draft.
And so I especially took issue with the individual rankings, not so much the overall rankings. I definitely think that this is one of those lists that it looks like that Yahoo just overall ranking. You're dropping in to do a draft, and you
yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I need to start marking stuff right now. I got to start setting the auto now. But I took issue with the wide receiver position in general. But it was really number 9, number 10 for me. So I'm going to go ahead and do number 9. and we'll get to 10 later.
Okay.
Number 9 was a huge issue for me with Michael Thomas. He was number 23 overall, and he was listed as a number 9 wide receiver. I actually think he's overvalued. And the reason being is I think that there is a serious issue in New Orleans. Maybe not so much that you can quantify with stats, but I want you to picture for a second here. You have a quarterback controversy, a quarterback battle between two guys who are probably inevitably going to be mixed in this offense one way or another. Okay? So let's just humor for a second that Taysom Hill plays 6 games and gets benched. Okay? Taysom Hill's still going to play in the game even when even when Jameis is on the field. Okay? Because they have all these plays that Sean Payton loves to use him. He's a Swiss Army knife. So I think the issue will be that when he fails, and I do believe he'll fail, and Jameis Winston becomes the quarterback, 1, he's still going to have to deal with that lingering fact that Taysom's coming in, and should he get that one electrifying moment that wants to put him back on the bench, it's destined to just continue. You can't get rid of it. It's kind of like when they brought Tebow to the Jets with Mark Sanchez. Okay? So they were going to try to use him no matter what, and they were constantly battling with each other. There's no real way to feel secure in your position with that setup. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I will be. And, furthermore, they're going to lean on Kamara a lot, especially with Taysom Hill in the beginning, because I don't think he'll be, extra dynamic. And this is not to say that Michael Thomas can't go get you 13 catches a game and just grind for fantasy points. But I don't want to put him up there in that top 10 when I really don't know how often he's going to see the end zone.
Yeah, I think his career year was 2019.
Yeah,
and I think he only had 9 touchdowns on 156 catches or something like that. He's just not a red zone threat, really. He's more of a, hey, I'm going to catch all these slants. He's great at that.
yeah,
He's the best. He's the best at that. But yeah, man, wide receiver is a very dependent position, so I tend to agree with you a little bit on that one. Where did you say he was ranked at, Jason?
He's wide receiver 9. He's wide receiver 9 right now.
You know what? I'd have to see. I really don't have a problem. I think he would probably, for my rankings, slide in right around in there.
There's just so much young talent that budded last year. And
there is.
This year. And
there is. Yeah, man. So I'm looking at Keenan Allen there at wide receiver 11. I think I'd rather have Keenan Allen. What about you? Absolutely. Yeah. All right, cool. Cam, overvalued. Yep. Who you got, man?
Overvalued?
You can do undervalued. We're doing overvalued right now, so give it a program and pay attention. And
fuck you. No. All right. So overvalued.
I'm trying to quick.
Wait. Did you say over or under? Over. All right. Cool. I
like this comment.
He thinks Thomas gets traded while his value is high.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Smart move.
Yeah, man. It's just somebody would be willing to take on that contract because I think he's owed a whole lot of money. And then for you, Cam, Gladys said she loved the Bear facts.
Gladys, you were awesome. I'm glad because I'm a fan of you. The fact that you actually like something I did, I'm super stoked for that.
That's pretty cool.
Chalk one up for me, Eric. Dipshit. No, I'm kidding. You didn't deserve that. You didn't deserve it. You deserve that.
You deserve that.
You do so much for this, and I just say mean things. I'm sorry.
Who do you got for what are your overvalued fantasy football players?
So the one that I have right off the bat, I actually sent a message to the guys earlier. It was a thing on Reddit I saw, and it was great. So they have Saquon Barkley as number 3 on here, right? Number 3.
Yep. Number 3 overall.
And I'm going to hit back on this when I do one of my undervalued players, and I'll switch it back out. But Saquon Barkley, man, I get that he had, this awesome, 2019 season, fucking just putting up stats. 2018, was arguably way better, honestly. But, he went down with the ACL tear, right? Went down for a year.
Yep.
All right. He's going to come back, and granted, we do better with ACL stuff nowadays with all the modern medicines and everything. But he sat out pretty much a whole year. A whole year. It gave that team time to kind of work around, make something new. Granted, he's going to come back and he's going to be the starter. He's going to do his thing. I just personally don't see how you can put this guy above, Kamara, put him above Henry. I don't get it. Like, because 2020 was a bust. He had nothing there, and we're going off the 2 years before that. When you had Kamara had the year he had, and then you had Derrick Henry have the year he had, you mean you're going to tell me you're going to put him above? It bothers me, man. I mean, granted, he's a weapon, man, because in 2018, what was it, 721 pass yards with 4 touchdowns on top of that. Great. Awesome. The next year, it started dropping. It went down to 438 yards with 2 touchdowns in 2019. And then, like I said, of course, 2020 was a bust because he got hurt. I just don't see how. Yeah.
In 2019 as well. I think he had a high ankle sprain or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
if I remember correctly. But here, I mean, I'll push back on that a little bit, and then I'll get your viewpoint, Jason, because your face looks like I can't tell whether you like it or not. But I'll push back a little bit on that. Wayne Gallman, who is trash. I won't say he's trash. That's fucked up.
That's a real mean thing to say.
I know. I'm sorry.
If you're watching, you're trash.
Yeah. Sorry, Mr. Gallman. But no, for real, he's very much just another guy. You'll hear that phrase. He's a jag. And he did. You never heard of that before? He did really well in his time, man. Like I'm trying to look up his finishes or whatever, but he was really, really like serviceable as a fantasy football asset. And just knowing Saquon Barkley is, I don't know, 6 times the athlete that he is. And Saquon, have you seen Saquon Barkley's legs?
Yes.
Do you think a tiny little ACL tear is going to mess with that?
No. Okay. So like I said, with the modern medicine we got, I'm just taking into account the whole year he's been off and coming back. And yeah, he's going to trade and he's going to get back in there. But like, I mean, there's that rust you got to knock off, man. And it's not that he isn't going to do great. I'm just saying, how do you put him above like people? How do you put him above people that have showed their value, that have produced numbers last year and the years before that? And you're just going to throw him up there?
Oh, sorry.
No one cares about your fucking opinion, so I don't give a shit.
I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean that to me will equal up more running lanes for Saquon Barkley. So
yeah,
I think number 3 overall with him missing an entire year. Who's ranked below him? Kamara, Henry. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't have Saquon above either one of those guys unless it was a full. Well, I wouldn't have him above Henry unless it was a full PPR. That's the only way I'd have him above Henry. But I don't think Saquon's out of my top 5, though, regardless. But I'll give you one of my overvalued players. Oh, I'm sorry, Jason. Did you have anything to say about Saquon?
I mean, I heard everybody today saying he's the best running back when he's healthy, and that seems to be a very popular opinion. I like him, I really do, but you do have some historic things going on with Derrick Henry, and I'm trying to keep my bias aside.
No, you're not. You never keep your bias aside.
I don't keep my bias aside. There's nothing wrong with that.
Alvin Kamara's going to run the ball a lot more this year. Christian McCaffrey could come right back and be the guy he was. So it's still extremely debatable. I put him at 4.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I think we're all. Where would you rank him? Cam, would you rank him in your top 5 or?
He would be a top 5. Like I said, my biggest issue was that it was above Kamara and Henry.
Okay. Yep. That's absolutely understandable and fine. I was just curious if he dropped like really down for you or what happened.
I like the dude. He seems like a good guy. He hasn't fucked anything up with massage therapists or anything. So like my thing is like good on you, man. Like he's a good guy.
Speaking of that.
Bear facts. All right. So real quick. Oh, you caught me off guard. I was in the middle of drinking my wine. How are you going to do it to me? All right. In the wild card round of the 2018 season, the Bears trail Philadelphia Eagles by 1 point with 56 seconds left on the clock. After driving down the field to set up a 43-yard field goal attempt, the Bears kicker then, Cody Parkey, missed a game-winning kick as time expired, and it was dubbed the double doink. Your Bear facts.
That's a hell of a Bear fact right there.
That might be the best.
I like that one a lot. Oh,
mm-hmm.
Tran has something to say about your choice of beverage, Cam.
Again, no one cares about your opinion, Tran. I love you, but I don't care. Don't give him that.
I agree, Tran. So
look, wait, no. We're gonna stop it right there. Just give me one minute. What's wrong with wine? What's wrong with wine?
It tastes gross, man. I don't like it.
It's grapes, Eric. It's fucking grapes.
I don't like grapes. They explode in your mouth like little balls of snot. Get out of here with that trash. Like, I'll eat them if they're cut. I'm like a child. I'll eat them if they're cut in half. That's the only way. They're a choking hazard and they're an explosion hazard for me, and I am not about that life. So, not today. Not today, grapes.
Fair enough.
Today.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Not in my house. So, I'm going to hit you with one of my overvalued players. My first person that comes to mind is DK Metcalf. However, he has been like stomped. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Watch any other or listen to any other podcast, and you can hear why he's overrated. Right now, he is ranked number 5, the fifth with wide receiver. I can't talk today. WR5. What I'm going to talk about is Antonio Gibson, and this is probably going to hurt a lot of people's feelings, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. Right now, cold-blooded. Right now, running back 12, overall 22. So he's going at the end of the second round. So he's either going to be your first or so. If he's my second running back on my team, I'm really good with that. I really like that. But as my first running back, I have a problem. I'll tell you why. He finished as the RB15 in half-point PPR points per game in 2020, and he was the RB12 overall. So that's really good finish, man. I mean, for your rookie season, he really did not get a large snap share at all. He was splitting a lot of time with J.D. McKissick, and that offense really wasn't that great either. My problem with Antonio Gibson is that much of his production was based off of touchdowns and not volume. And we know that volume is king in fantasy football, especially for the running back and wide receiver position. I mean, shit, for any position, it's king. Let me tell you why I have a problem with that. He finished RB5, or let's say he finished RB12 overall, right? He was 26th in the NFL in touches per game. That something's wrong there. So to me, you might see more of a regression to the mean. So like maybe he ends up being like 18th in touches and then 18th in like fantasy production, just based off of freaking law of averages. 13 games where he saw at least 30% of the snaps. Well, once again, he was a lot of time he was spending with splitting time with J.D. McKissick. That was 15.6 opportunities per game, and opportunities per game are going to be rushing attempts plus targets. Did somebody's OnlyFans? Did you just get a hit on OnlyFans?
Yeah, it's my OnlyFans. I got
No, dude.
followers.
Make you some money.
Oh, big sexy.
Yeah, he was RB34 in opportunity share. That means percentage of teams carries plus targets. So RB34, RB25 in targets. I don't like that at all. For someone who's ranked right now as number 12, the running back 12, to be the 34th running back in the league last year in opportunity share scares the hell out of me. It's a lot of faith in a Ryan Fitzpatrick and Taylor. How do I say his name? Taylor
Heineke.
Taylor Heineke led offense.
Heineke, baby.
They did some good things, man. Obviously, bringing in Curtis Samuel, bringing in Fitzpatrick, I like that. I'm just not going to bank. I'm not spending my 20. If I'm, the 111 in the draft. I guess not the 111, the 102 in the draft. I'm not coming back around and spending my second round pick on Antonio Gibson and just hoping to God that he gets another 11 touchdowns through on the ground. Touchdowns are not very much a sticky. Let's put it this way: Alvin Kamara's not scoring 21 touchdowns in 2021. It's just not going to happen. He's not having a 6 touchdown game again. Oh, yeah. my man, Tran's got my back right there. So.
I think we're all kind of agreeing with. He's throwing out some facts right now.
Yeah,
I can't
debate that one.
Yeah, but and let me say this as well. I do think, and Tran, I agree with you. I like Gibson. I think Gibson is incredibly talented. I just think it's more of a product of the system. He's not going to get the lion's share of the touches. He's a converted wide receiver, for Christ's sakes. He's just not going to get that many touches. My alarm is going off somewhere. Oh, there it is. But I will say this: I do think his opportunity share does increase in 2021. I just don't think it increases enough for me to like him at the 22nd pick overall. Just don't like it that much.
I'm in total agreement. I don't want to be too hard on him either because I think that the quarterback position improved and I think that the wide receiver position improved and I think Logan Thomas will continue to develop into a pretty serviceable tight end and I just think that there's a lot of reason to put some stock back in the football team. So, I mean, the defense is great, so you know they're going to be in games. and I like that you have an intelligent, all-pro journeyman in Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think they're going to be a pretty great offense. I would say that I more so agree with you simply because I don't know how well J.D. McKissic will play because he did a lot for Alex Smith. So you never know. Fitzpatrick might come in and think, oh, wow, you just check down to this guy just like 15 times a game? Really?
Yeah.
You just do this? Like,
just keep going. Yeah.
It just works.
Yeah. I mean, there was a point over 2 games last season. J.D. McKissic had 29 targets. He saw 15 and 14. So they're using him out of the backfield. That offensive system hasn't changed at all. Just the personnel around it has improved, I would say. So, yeah, once again, I love Antonio Gibson for a real life thing. I don't want to sink that much into him as far as fantasy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. For Dynasty, oh man, I love it. But yeah. Anywho, so who do we got next? You want to do it? Let's do an undervalued player. How about Cam? Let me hear one of your undervalued players that you saw from that ranking.
So we can just go right what I was talking about with Saquon Barkley and bring it back to old Derrick Henry. Look, I'm telling you, the man. I have a bias because I'm a Titans fan, but who
wears bias on his clothes?
Yeah, I love it, Jason. You're totally in the right to do what you're doing, and you're totally in the right to agree with me before I've even spouted out facts, because that's what we do. Yeah. So okay, my thing with Derrick Henry. Every season, he just gets better. He's a machine. He's a monster. If you've seen these workout videos he's been doing, like, he's just a different breed of human. And, like, I went back today and was just watching highlights of this dude trucking people. So on top of trucking people and getting, 17 touchdowns plus the 2,000 yards, like, it played every game with the intensity that he has. And you're going to put fucking Saquon Barkley above this man? No. Derrick Henry, like, I put him at 2, man. Everybody wants to talk about age. Everybody's always getting older. He's not a fucking human. Age doesn't matter to him. Really like, this dude is going to be insane this coming year. Like, granted, he might not put up 2,000 yards, but I guarantee you he's going to be back around that 17 touchdown mark. He's going to be ridiculous. Like, I don't know why everybody's just coming out of the woodwork like, we're going to knock him down a few. No, it's bullshit. What has this man done to show you that he is not going to do better next year? Dude, there's my undervalued.
No, that's awesome, Cam. I just looked up a stat because I just wanted to see this because he's such a large, like, ginormous person. Last year, he had 1,073 yards after contact. He had over 1,000 yards after getting hit. Man,
it's insane.
You know what? It's almost automatic due to that fact. If you watch the Titans, you actually watch the game. You know that it's just like a matter of time. Like, when's he gonna
he just wears them down, man. He's just a. Yeah. And Tran, that would be an incredible fantasy football output right there. I mean, it wouldn't be what he did last year, but it's almost.
I'd actually prefer it. As a Titans fan, we don't want him to kill himself in the regular season. You got to understand, guys. Like, we're talking about a dude that always kind of got put in a sharing time system, and then when he finally got his real chance to shine, 2 years in, he's breaking postseason records everywhere. That just bled over into this 2,000-yard season. I mean, the guy's on an absolute just hot streak. I'd actually have to look and see how old he is. I'm not even sure how old he is now, but I'm going to assume that he's right here at the the pinnacle of his career.
He just turned 27 about 3 months ago.
So he's not even at the prime yet. Jesus Christ.
So he's right about usually 27, 28 is the prime running back. Yeah.
So I mean, 28 years old usually is the magic number. So I mean, good God, man.
Yeah, again, just to close it out, the only person I could see somebody taking before that is McCaffrey, as far as running backs goes. So you could argue me that. I got you. You take anybody else over Henry, are
you going to punch him?
I'm getting too old to punch, but yes, I will. Yes, I will.
What if let me level with you. What if you did this instead?
Bare facts. Fact number 3. This is a good one. You can see Alan Covert's bare ass in Adam Sandler's hit movie, Mr. Deeds. Bare facts.
Which one is Alan Covert?
He's
Is he the one that played Dante in like Grandma's Boy? The one that always plays like a high. He's like really tan.
no, he was the main character in Grandma's Boy.
Oh,
Do
okay.
you remember?
Cool.
Will you quit soaping your ass and talk to me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Fairfax.
I love it. I love it. Jason, let me get an undervalued guy for you.
An undervalued guy.
Yeah, if you could stop laughing for. I got to say these Fairfax are my favorite thing so far.
I love Fairfax.
I'm trying to hold it together.
So I had three guys. We're only going to do two of them, but I had three guys. So I want to pick.
You can throw a couple if you want to do two in a row. That's fine, man.
Jason, I can listen to you talk all day, bud.
I'm going to do this one quick, and it just simply because I can't stand myself for it. But Dak Prescott, 59.
I didn't hear you. Sorry, you cut out for a second. Can you say it again?
Nope.
He came at him hard.
God damn it. All right, look. Sports Illustrated called Dak Prescott the QB3 in 2019. Okay? What he actually did was go be the QB2. And this is only, we're talking fantasy football right now. Okay? And this is only behind MVP Lamar Jackson that year. Okay? And we know a lot of those fantasy points came from running the football. A lot. So what we're saying is Dak Prescott was the best pure passing quarterback in fantasy football in 2019. Even better than Patrick Mahomes, which he did have some injuries that year. But if we flash forward and we actually look at the games that Dak Prescott played 100% of the snaps for the Cowboys before he got injured last year, he actually comes out to have about, now if you take that average and then you project it across 16 weeks, you would get about 551 points. Incredible amount of points. Josh Allen won QB1 for Fantasy 2020 with 490 points. So to say that Dak Prescott easily would have been, and I know woulda, coulda, shoulda, but
yeah,
if you saw the games, you know where I'm coming from. He has the best. Look, I hate the Cowboys with a passion, mostly because I'm always accused of being a Cowboys fan. Because I don't like the Redskins in Virginia.
Oh yeah,
like
that's
the football team
yeah.
in Virginia. So you're automatically a Cowboys fan. But anyways, so it's a bunch of noise. But the point is, you're looking at a guy who was clearly going to be QB1 last year, and that was with a healthy Patrick Mahomes. I don't see how he's QB5. I think you put him at 1, 2, or 3. 3 is pushing it. I think Dak Prescott is the best offense in football when it just comes to having the talent there at the receiving core. Even the tight end. People don't talk about that guy enough. I think he's looking for a come up. Zeke does the job when Dak's in. For whatever reason, his statistics kind of just go up and down with Dak.
Yeah.
So you could probably talk more about that, Eric. But the point is, the guy's already proven himself in the last 2 years to be one of the most dangerous men with football. Any given game, you put that across the season, I'm drafting him.
Oh man, there we go. Yeah, I love Dak Prescott. I don't think he's going to be on that historic, 6,500 yard pace, but that defense is still not going to be good at all. They're going to have to throw the ball if they want to win games. Dude, I have a pipe dream of us getting Kyle Pitts at 10. So you talk about, I don't think so either, but
Schultz is good, man.
I like and Blake Jarwin was going to be the starting tight end before he tore his ACL. I think it was ACL, but anyways, yeah, man, I love it. Just to be honest with you, I love it, and that was one of the best things that you've ever shared with me, and I appreciate you for doing it on this live platform.
It's your turn.
I'll hit y'all with an undervalued player. Let's see here. Who do I want to go? I'm going to go Melvin Gordon because he's somebody that I haven't heard a lot of people talk about at all. And we're all three mostly dynasty players as far as this goes. I mean, I play in like 5 leagues. You guys are like super into our main league, and we do a little bit of redraft, but we're mostly dynasty. And Melvin Gordon is not on the dynasty radar, like really at all. So I just wanted to talk. Philip Lindsay's gone. He gone. Who did he sign with?
He gone.
I can't remember. Anyways, Philip Lindsay's gone. He signed with somebody else. I can't remember who it is. He is the undisputed goal line back. He's the undisputed third down back, same as he was last year. But now he's not ceding any touches to a very talented Philip Lindsay. They may bring somebody else in. Sure, I do think they probably do bring a day 2 or a day 3 running back in. For if you're a Melvin Gordon manager, you're hoping for a day 3, so around 4, 5, 6, or 7. But I think they bring someone in during the draft. But the offensive line is not great, but it is serviceable, right? He quietly, if y'all can imagine, dude, he had 10 touchdowns last year, Melvin Gordon. When I was looking this up, I was like, really? Holy smokes. So he's still like, that's something Melvin Gordon has always done. He has a nose for the end zone. Even in, I mean, obviously the Chargers offense was so much better than the Broncos, but even in a not great Broncos offense, he had 10 total touchdowns. I love that. Love that a lot. He finished as the RB21 in half-point PPR points per game. So he was a serviceable, a low-end RB2. That's fine. His career finishes, he came in the league in 2015. He didn't really play much, but 2016 he was RB5, 2017 RB7, 2018 RB3, 2019 RB16. Obviously, we just talked about he was RB21 last year. So it's not a good trend, obviously, but dude, he's serviceable as hell. He's not even a streamer. He's somebody you can get at the end of the 4th round. Right now, his overall ranking was 47, the running back 22. You're telling me that I can get him as my first flex player? Sign me up, man. I love that so much. He's just overlooked. He is the old, boring, like he is like the Honey Nut Cheerios of cereal. You know what I mean? It's always, you know, it's going to be good. It's just not the most flashy or best thing that you can eat. So yeah, man, I love Melvin Gordon this year. I wish I had him on the. I might try and make a trade for him in Dynasty. I don't know.
We wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
everybody. I just love you. You're my favorite person. Let's talk more about how stupid Cam is for drinking wine.
No, God.
You know what? I'm going to continue on the undervalued because I really like the undervalued type thing. So, Jason, let me get another one of your undervalued players.
So I want to do. I'm going to skim over the one that's probably a little bit more personal to me.
Okay.
That I was probably coming from a little place of bias.
We're all inherently biased. It's fine.
And then I'm going to
me especially.
And then I'm going to jump on one that I actually truly believe in with complete no bias.
Okay, cool.
All right, so I'm going to make this fast. Miles Sanders, look, 14th best fantasy running back. His rookie season in 2019 goes into 2020. Terrible offense. Carson Wentz sucks. The 3 games that Miles Sanders played with Jalen Hurts, he actually averaged 17.7 points a game. And when you look around the rest of the season, he was pure shit. So it's when I say Jalen Hurts, I mean when Jalen Hurts took 100% of the snaps at quarterback.
Sure, yeah.
He actually averaged 17.7 points a game as the RB1. So, and I'm gonna move on, but
honestly, that's incredible. I haven't heard that stat yet. So I really like that. I know that was a hashtag selfish prediction there because he's on your dynasty team, but that's kind of he, you know, and I think he fits the mold for undervalued because he's someone I have not heard discussed whatsoever this offseason. It's been, you know, Jonathan Taylor and Cam Akers and J.K. Dobbins, and it's all been all these second-year players. And Miles Sanders has really been overlooked. So I like that one a lot, Jason.
Awesome. Well, you might like this one a lot too because he's a 3rd-year guy. This guy's a 4th-year guy. DJ Chark, currently wide receiver 31.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's completely underrated.
Wow.
This man is 6'4", 198 pounds, and he's 24 years old. Okay? This man has already proven he can play. Yeah, he was 15th ranked fantasy wide receiver in 2019. Okay? All that changed was the Jaguars literally sold everyone. And then Gardner Minshew was like, oh, shit, sophomore slump. And now here we are today, and we're drafting the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck. And if you don't think Trevor Lawrence, look, they added Marvin Jones Jr., who's sure-handed. He's going to help Lawrence a lot. They've got Laviska Shenault. But if you don't think Trevor Lawrence is looking at that 6'4" behemoth over there and going, oh, I'm going to see you in the red zone. especially because a lot of I hate the Jaguars. This is actually probably my most hated team. But
I know you hate the. That's so surprised, man.
yeah, it sucks. But the point is, like, okay, they had Carlos Hyde behind James Robinson, who was like everybody's sweetheart last season.
Yeah.
So you can run the ball. All right. So we're talking 6'4", wide receiver one. You can play Z, you can play X. Honestly, you can play both. The guy's awesome. He's dynamic. So you're telling me we can run the ball. We have baby Andrew Luck, baby Peyton Manning, whatever you want to call him, and this dude is enormous. He's a monster. Yeah, 24 years old. I think his fantasy value skyrockets after week 1.
I love it, man. And Tran has a good point here. I want to get your take on it. Him and Chenault, one of the top 3 duos in the league for next year. Amen. I don't know if I'd go top 3, but man, they're going to be nasty.
Super nasty.
Yeah, I love it.
We talked about this in the last. Episode, man. The Jags are just going to be a fun team to watch next year. They're just going to be fun. And I can't believe he was that far down. Like, to be honest with you, when I was going through this, I didn't even think of his name. I'm looking through it. Again, undervalued. But I didn't even think of his name. And I go back and look at this, and I'm like, holy shit, they really did rank him, like, super low. Like, that's wild seeing some of the names that are over him. Like, because
I'm sitting here looking at Juju over him.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's
Get the fuck out of here, man. Damian Harris, who's a running back, but he's ranked over DJ Chark.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Lockett, that's fine, whatever. Yeah, man. I don't know if I like Will Fuller over him in Miami, to be honest, with Tua throwing him the ball. Dude, I love that, Jason. And he's 71, I want to say, overall. Was that what you had? No, 75.
75.
So what's that, middle of the 7th round?
Yeah.
Or 6th round? 6th round. No, it's like the beginning of the 7th round.
Yeah.
If my math is correct, right?
Yeah, you're right at it. Yeah.
72. Yeah, so wow. That's, man, if you're talking about he could be your 3rd wide receiver?
Yeah.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Jesus, dude. I'll take that all day long, every day.
I'm actually kind of mad now.
What?
Oh, damn, we got it rough this year, baby.
Yeah.
Looking at Chark and Chenault. In what way are you looking at them? In like a sexual way?
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. We like biases and.
Are you looking at them?
All right, bear facts. So this one I'm gonna hit you with real quick. Koalas are not bears. Bear facts.
Common misconception a lot of people have.
What? Marsupials. Yes.
They have a little.
Why is it that everything in Australia just gets to be weird and stupid? I don't think Australia exists. Dude. I think it's made up, and they just put all these crazy animals out there because they know where the crazy animals are. That's where the flat earthers are. I'm telling you.
That's when people
live in Australia.
Yeah.
When people talk about like the experiments and stuff that like scientists do, Australia is where all the fucked up ones get dumped. Like all the animals did it.
Like
like
Area 51 stuff.
Yeah.
Drop bears. Yeah.
No, I agree.
Complete fun.
Australia's weird. And Tran says everything in Australia wants to kill you.
This is true.
Yeah. See,
even the people. Even the
I
people.
don't think it's real. It's a facade. They just don't want us to go there.
Somebody's freaking lying over here. All right. Do we get you with another undervalued, Cam? Do you got another one for us?
No, I do have one more undervalued for you.
Who you got?
And this comes from a emotionally charged place.
As per
that's me not emotionally charged. That's Mike Evans. So they had him at where was it at? They had him at 38. And here's the other thing, and I was looking at this, and I just want to tag along. They had Godwin at number 37. So you got that duo right there, right? This is my problem with that. People judge Mike Evans by his floor and not his ceiling. And it's if you go back and look at his stats, I mean, yeah, they may not be the greatest thing in the world, but look at 2020, 70 receptions for 1,006 yards, and I believe it was 12 touchdowns. I don't have the stats right off head. Trying to navigate through a million things on my phone about Bears. But he had a couple, I wouldn't say rough seasons by any means, but there were a couple seasons where he had like 3 touchdowns or whatever. But I mean, those are just a couple bad years. You know what I'm saying? Like the way he's been on, and he's part of the Super Bowl team now with the team he has. Mike Evans, like, and I'll just put this out there because I mean we all know it, but for anybody that isn't in our league, I went through hell trying to get Mike Evans in our league. I just got this gut feeling about it. I love it. I don't know what it is. I feel emotionally attached to the guy. I want to see him succeed. He's a big, strong man with big, strong hands, and I want to see him do big things. That's all I got. I was pissed that they put him where they put him.
Yeah, he just finished his 7th year in a row of 1,000 or more receiving yards. The only player in history to do that.
Yep.
Well, I think it's his first 7. I should say that. But that's awesome, man. Yeah, no, I like Mike Evans. It's just so hard. It feels like they cannibalize each other a lot. But the great thing is, Bruce Arians' system has a very distinct role for Mike Evans and a very distinct role for Chris Godwin. So while there are only so many targets to go around, you don't have to worry about, oh shit, freaking Chris Godwin's playing on the outside this time, type thing. He's more of a slot type guy. So
it could change with Brady, but I honestly think Brady prefers Evans. So
it looked like he did, man. It really did.
Yep.
I think just based on the system that Chris Godwin, once he finally got healthy towards the middle to the end of the season, he actually out-targeted Mike Evans by like 1.5 per game or something. Nothing too significant, but Mike Evans is the red zone guy. Cam, you're right. He has 61 touchdowns in 7 seasons, so that's a little over 7 per season, and that's only getting drugged down by that one season that was 3. He had randomly had 3 touchdowns in 2015, but he's had 3 seasons of 12 or more touchdowns and 5 seasons of 8 or more touchdowns. So his floor, I think that's a perfect way to say it, Cam. People judge him by his floor and not his ceiling. What can his ceiling be? I mean,
don't sleep on it.
Man, I do like Mike Evans. That's a good one. All right, so for my last undervalued player, this is someone I legitimately think, and a lot of things have to break right, but I think he could end up as the number 1 running back in the NFL, in fantasy football in 2021. It's Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Sorry, not Helaire. They got him ranked at RB18. Holy crap. We talk about a massive overcorrection. Get out of here with that garbage. 32 overall. So he's right at the kind of the end of the 3rd round. He had 18.1 opportunities per game. So once again, that's attempts plus targets. That is the same as Austin Eckler. That is more than DeAndre Swift and J.K. Dobbins, who are all ahead of him in these rankings that we're talking about here. The problem was he had 4 touchdowns. He had 4 touchdowns the entire season. Someone who got that many touches, I feel like that's just bad luck. That's kind of like Alvin Kamara in 2019. He got 6 total touchdowns, but he had over 220 touches, something like that. And then you saw that kind of overcorrected in 2020 with 21 touchdowns.
There's a learning curve there.
And there's a learning curve. Like Jason, you have been freaking foot stomping this entire time. These rookies. Now, granted, Cam, all of them look good. I thought all the rookie running backs flashed and looked really good, but they were doing this on a COVID season. There is a learning curve that's coming. He's playing in the best offense, in my opinion, in the NFL, with probably top 3 best offensive mind in Andy Reid. He had terrible. We talk about terrible touchdown production. 4 touchdowns on 8 goal line carries. Let me tell you who had some. Let me talk about goal line carries. Gibson had 11 touchdowns on 8 goal line carries. Swift had 8 touchdowns on 8 goal line carries. And Dobbins had 9 touchdowns on 6 goal line carries. It's going to regress to the mean as far as that goes. It's not going to be a 1-to-1 ratio, right? So you kind of saw all of those right there. But if he gets another 8 goal line carries, I expect him to have at least – I'm going to predict he's going to have at least 10 total touchdowns in 2021. Clyde Edwards, because he's going to be in positions where he's going to be in that valuable – he is the number 1 running back there. They got him in the 1st round for a reason, right? The interior of that offensive line got a hell of a lot better this offseason. Bringing in Kyle Long, who's off of who kind of came out of retirement, but maybe his body is kind of rested up. He's ready to go. They brought in the highest paid guard in the history of the league, in Joe Tooney, and their center Austin Bly, I think's his name, is really good as well. So you have a great push. You have a great push up the middle. And he's a small guy, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's like 5'7", 205, 207. He can squirt through some of those little cracks in the holes that they're going to make there. So I just think it's the opposite that I had the opposite thing that I had for Antonio Brown. I'm sorry, Antonio Gibson. Gibson didn't have the opportunities, but had the touchdown production. Edwards Hilaire had the uh, opportunities and not the touchdown production. So I think you're going to see both of them kind of meet in the middle there. And to me, if it breaks right, you could see a legit where the problem is Patrick Mahomes like to throw the ball too much in the goal line situations, but man, I could see him having 10, 12, 15 total touchdowns this year with 1,500 all-purpose yards. It could happen. It absolutely could happen. So I think
It's gonna all meet in the middle beneath that old Georgia pine.
oh George, yeah, exactly. God,
That's what I'm here for.
yeah,
Until you see CEH catching 20-yard passes, he hasn't learned that playbook yet. Okay?
yeah.
We've all seen this with Brian Westbrook to LaShawn McCoy,
Jamal Charles.
Kareem Hunt, Jamal Charles, all these guys. You've seen what that playbook looks like. We know what the running back position looks like for Andy Reid. It does it all. So until you see CEH doing that, you don't know what his potential is.
Yeah. So that's a fair point too, Tran. I mean, you got to get the guy out in space. I think CEH, and it's based off of, for me, it's not really talent wise. I don't think he's the most talented person. I don't think he's the most talented runner. I don't think he's the most talented pass catcher. But it's all about his situation and the team and the offense that he is attached to. So those are my two undervalued guys. I think we have what do we got? One more overvalued guy to get to for all of us.
One more overvalue, yeah.
Cool. Cam, hit us with one of your last overvalued player here.
All right, so real quick before I do this, I just want to say I always thought that I was a factual person, and I'm learning a lot about myself tonight. I'm a very emotionally charged person, and the reason why I preface it with that is because Hayden Hurst is ranked at 118 on this, and I still think he's fucking overvalued because he's a fucking asshole. I drafted this dude, right? I took this guy, and I think I could have got, if I'm not mistaken, give me a second. If I'm not mistaken, I could have had, who was it? I don't want to say Kittle, but it was somebody really good. I had already got Andrews, and I could have got another really good tight end, right? That'd be my backup. I took Hurst. I took him because I was like, everybody was so pumped up, and everybody was so ready for this guy. He didn't do dick. I sat him this season. I sat him during the game. I picked up a tight end off the waiver wire and played him over Hurst because I fucking hate the dude, and he doesn't produce when he needs to produce. Now, granted, I love him on a personal standpoint, professionally, dude. You know, pissed me off, and you fucked up my season because he fucked me over, dude. Yeah, no, okay. So let's bring it down. I'm sorry. Okay, so Hurst. So we did have 56 receptions for 571 yards. Cool, 6 touchdowns. That's great. That's fucking fantastic. But you didn't get them when we needed them, did you? Nah, you didn't. And you just sat there like a big old bitch because everybody thought you were going to be the next coming of fucking Kelsey. Everybody thought you were going to be the next best thing. And you fucked up. Drop him. I don't care. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Keith, there you go, bud. That was for you. But no, I don't like Hurst. I don't like him. I don't think he's great.
You used a pretty good trade for him, did you? Was that?
Yes.
You right?
So somebody hit me up. Jay, the guy we had on here last week, offered me Tom Brady for him. Straight up. I took it. I couldn't hit that button fast enough. I was like, fucking take him.
Get him out your face.
Get him out, my God.
Honestly, man, I was one of the people beating the drum for Hayden Hurst. I was like, cool. He's going to have all the opportunity. He just did not do much.
And I'm glad you said that because I'm pretty sure you were part of the reason why I drafted him because I come into this, didn't know what the hell I was doing. Eric's like, man, you should look at Hurst. And I'm like, all right, cool. This dude's going to be great. And I looked him up. So it's not all your fault because I did do my research. It's everyone else's fault on Reddit and Twitter. And I'm calling everybody out. Fucking fuck.
All right, Jason, bring us back to some factual reality here.
I'm sorry.
I got some facts.
Let's hear it, baby.
Cam's wine bad.
Hit it.
You got some bear facts?
I got some bear facts.
Bear facts.
And I did it. This was not intentional. All right. So, Allen Robinson, wide receiver 10, 29th pick overall. If he even suits up this year, it's going to be the saddest thing we've ever watched. This guy playing for them Bears gets the new Jay Cutler, red. He comes in red now, and so let me explain this to you. Career percentages here. Andy Dalton, 62.2 completion percentage. Jay Cutler, 62 completion percentage. 4.6 TD touchdown percentage. Cutler, 4.6 touchdown percentage. 2.6 interception percentage, Dalton. 3.3 interception percentage, Cutler. 87.5% passer rating, Dalton. 85.3% passer rating, Cutler. They're so – the only thing – Andy Dalton comes with less picks.
Yeah. They're like super similar. That's crazy.
And it comes in red. So, and you're probably thinking, but, Brandon Marshall and Jay Cutler and la, 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 la. Yeah, but Andy Dalton had the best receiving core in football last year, and he still came in 29th ranked.
Yeah, and as me watching his games, he looked horrible.
This man is literally been kidnapped. He can't leave. He doesn't want to be there. He wants to compete, and they gave him red Jay Cutler.
Let me. I have a question because I push back on this one a little bit because I love Allen Robinson.
Okay.
We've had this on a previous. I don't know how many episodes ago that was. He's going to get 150 targets again, though, right? Who else are they going to throw the ball to?
Yeah, well, we said that with Dallas too, and I mean, he had all kinds of people to throw the ball to. He didn't get it done. So,
no, I'm talking about Allen Robinson. So I refuse to say that his at worst the quarterback situation for Allen Robinson is lateral now. He didn't take a step back with Andy Dalton. Mitchell Trubisky and Nick Foles. Mitchell Trubisky is backing somebody up right now.
Yeah.
And Nick Foles is about to be backing somebody up right now.
And Andy Dalton was supposed to compete for a starting quarterback position. When Andy Dalton got signed
you are so full of shit.
It was out of fear that Dak Prescott would not sign the contract.
You're wild, man. I remember having this conversation with you because I was like, that was the rumor mill going on, but I don't think that was never. He was insurance, sure. If Dak was to say, I'm not going to play until we get a long-term deal signed, I think that was the primary reason Andy Dalton was brought in. But okay, that's fine. You're entitled to your own opinion. But no, my thing is with Allen Robinson, he's going to get 150 targets again. He's gonna pretty much put up the same production he's always done. Now, I will say this: wide receiver 10 might be like, it's honestly kind of his ceiling because I don't think he's ever finished, besides like 2014 when he had like 14 touchdowns or something. I don't think he's ever finished higher than wide receiver 9 or something like that. So I would say I would feel comfortable. What did you say he was at, 27?
Yeah, actually, I think it was a little bit higher than that. Hold on. 20. Oh, he's 29, but he's wide receiver 10.
Wide receiver 10. So here's the question: would you feel comfortable? So 29 is in the third round. Would you feel comfortable with him as your first wide receiver? Oh, let's say a redraft team. Like you wouldn't.
No.
Wow.
I don't trust Andy Dalton, man.
Okay.
Andy Dalton went from a guy who went to the playoffs every year to looking like he never played football before, with the best offense I've ever seen on paper.
Yeah. Okay.
Come on.
No, that's fine. I just think it's a volume. I have the volume argument for it. I think he's going to get 150 plus targets. He's going to do what he always does, and that's going to be around wide receiver 9 to wide receiver 12. And with that consistency, I love that type of consistency, barring an injury, of course. And then I can take a high upside guy like DJ Chark with my wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3.
Okay, hold up. Since we got kind of two opinions, just somebody who's, for anybody out there that's still learning Dynasty or wants to get an insight, and I honestly want to know this. So you look at somebody like Robinson, where would his trade value fall for you guys then?
He's 28 or 29.
He's 27. Right? He's 27.
He's 27 years old.
Yeah, he's the same age as Kenny Galladay.
I thought Galladay was younger than him.
Galladay came into the league at like 24 or something. He was like a red shirt senior. He was really, really old when he came in the league.
Okay.
Whereas Robinson came in the league when he was like 20. Like he's been in. It just feels like he's been in 4 years longer, but he's same age.
Yeah.
So for me, if you're talking like trade value wise, I mean, Allen Robinson is, to me, barring what Jason thinks, is an elite wide receiver one. I'm not giving him. You're going to have to give me somebody. You're going to have to give me like a high first round pick, like between the 101 and 103, and somebody like DJ Chark for me to even think about. For me to even think about trading him away, because Allen Robinson hasn't even hit his peak yet, or his prime. Wide receivers prime is between 27 and 30. He's in his prime window now. Man, I mean, it depends on how. It depends on who wants to get him. I would say if I can get multiple first rounders for him, it depends on the league too, right? But we've seen in our particular league, people are willing to deal with multiple first rounders
Right.
for people. It just kind of depends on where you value players at. What do you think, Jason?
I think it depends on where your team is that season. So let's take my Alvin Kamara situation. All right, we'll use that as an example. I gave away all my picks for him, right?
Mhm.
But I did it late in the season. I saw I was getting the playoffs. I saw there was nobody going to stop me. I was at number 2. I was not going to move no matter what happened.
Right.
So bringing in a guy, let's go get this championship. All right. But if I'm trading right now and you're telling me high first round draft pick, and I'm thinking, okay, Jamar Chase for God knows how long, or Allen Robinson for 4 or 5 years, I'm going with Jamar Chase. And so that's just, it depends on where your team is and what you're going to do. Because the ultimate goal is to get that trophy. You know,
Right.
If you're in a dynasty league, that means there's lots of guys playing. I would hate to see like a 8-team dynasty league. I'm sure that looks crazy.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
never.
So if you're in a dynasty league, that means you got a ton of managers. So you want to get your name on the board. You want to go win that championship because that's something you got nobody else does. So that is what makes players like Allen Robinson turn into number 1 pick, worthy trades.
Yes, and that's what I was going to say as well, Jason. Is it depends on where. So, like for somebody like for me, I have put all my chips in. I have a couple first round picks or a few first round picks in the future. If I could give away, like literally, this is me, and I'll probably get lambasted for this or whatever, or blasted for it, but I would give away like 3 first rounders to get Allen Robinson right now, no problem, because I have 2 in 2022. I got 3 in 2023. I mean, I wouldn't care if that's going to set me up for the next 2 seasons, at least to be a champion, to be the number 1 championship contending team. So, Jason, you're absolutely right. I think it depends on where your team is at and what you're trying to do. And that Alvin Kamara trade was the right thing to do for you at the time. It just didn't work out.
And I still have a first and a second.
Yeah, somehow.
So I don't want to step on the I don't want to step on any toes here. I mean, we're done with the over unders, right? Are we done with that? Because I have
I had one more under real quick. Let me hit this real quick. It's Joe Mixon. I hate Joe Mixon. I don't. I just don't. I just don't think he's a good running back. I hear the excuses for him every single season. Oh, he's going to be a top 5 running back this year. He's never done it. 2017 is RB 28. 2018 RB 9. Oh, nice. 2019 RB 17. 2020 RB 11 in the 6 games that he played. Right now, he is ranked as the RB 15. I think that's a little more appropriate, but he's also 27 overall. So what's that? That's a 3rd round pick. Honestly, Joe Mixon as my running back 2. If I'm looking at team composition, I'm not super mad at that. I just don't think he's a good. Let me put it this way: is he a good running back? Sure. Is he what everybody thinks he is, which is like Saquon Barkley, like Christian McCaffrey, like stuff like that? No, he's not. His ADP has always been out of control. He was RB9 last year. He was RB11 the year before. RB14 when he actually did return ADP value, and he was RB20 in his rookie season. He has literally not returned ADP value in 3 out of his 4 seasons. He's always overdrafted. His situation was an absolute killer last year. I had a core going into our league, Jason, the Henry County Hard Knocks. I had 2 keepers. I had Zeke. I had Dalvin Cook. I drafted Mixon with my first pick. So I was going in. That was my running back core right there. I was like, Jesus Christ. I can't be stopped, right? And in the first 5 weeks of the season, I'm murdering people left and right. And then Joe Mixon goes down. Oh, it's a foot sprain. And then he's just gone for the rest of the season.
You were stopped.
Yeah, exactly. I got ended up getting second again. Yay. He had one good game against Jacksonville that buoyed his points per game ranking last year anyways, without that one, he would probably be around RB20. And the last note I had, he's just not that good. He's always overhyped. He's always overdrafted. I'm not doing it, and I encourage if anybody's watching this, don't do it to yourself. If he does hit, cool. Sorry for the bad advice, but he literally has done it one time in 4 years. So I'm erring on the side of history. Is he going to get everything for the Cincinnati Bengals? Oh hell yeah, he's going to be the bell cow back. I don't care. I just don't care. I don't think he's very good. And what Tran had said, I think is a good point for Robinson. I think that's perfect. A high wide receiver 2 is his absolute floor. So we're thinking like wide receiver 14 and above, or wide receiver 15 and above.
That's fair.
Yeah, but Jason, I think that if that's his floor, him getting drafted at wide receiver 10 might be a bit overvalued.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, these guys, and I don't want to beat up on them too hard. It was really hard to find the overvalued players. It's a lot easier to look at somebody and say, "Oh, I know he's better than that." It's really hard to look at a guy and go, "Nah, you're not it." Usually, there's a consensus. It's very rare that somebody comes out and goes, "This worst." But it's like a Tim Tebow situation. I mean, God, how many others can you point to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't happen that often that the consensus gets it wrong.
Cam, did you have a question for us? You were saying something.
Yeah, real quick. I just want to tag along with that. I don't know how many times I looked at that list and was like, saw somebody's name and I was like, oh, they shouldn't be that far down. And then I start looking at the people above them and I'm like, well, okay. So it was like kind of a shocker going through it when you see all the information presented in front of you. But so the other question I had, y'all started talking about ages a lot, right? And so it's a shocker. So the one thing I heard about, when we started Dynasty, because I was brand new to it, was, hey, it's all about getting the young players. It's all about getting those young players. Okay, well, I've seen people grab young players, and I've seen those numbers not get produced by the young players. And I see people who have older teams, older players that are just smoking. So, and I know it's probably going to go back to where your team lies, but like there was a big thing that got started. I was looking at a forum the other day, and it was talking about where do you draw that line between worrying about age so much and really, grabbing the guys that are in their prime, vice trying to, build, no pun intended, build your dynasty. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to hear y'all's thoughts on it because y'all played for so long.
You want to start?
Yeah, you go ahead, Jason.
So I'll give you an example of exactly what I've done so far. So when we started, we all drafted out. I had some early bad luck. Andrew Luck just retired on me immediately after the draft.
Yeah,
that was rough.
It was a hurt piece. And then we start getting out there. I'm like, okay, well, I'm screwed at quarterback. I'll take my number one running back here, Zeke. Get some trade picks for get some picks for him.
3 first-round picks for him.
Huh?
3 first-round picks for Zeke, right?
3 first-round picks for him.
3 first rounds. Let's make it.
I started stashing. And building, and so I've got these picks. So I've got this real estate now, right? And I've always done this in regular football as well. Like I'm one of those guys that likes to take 2 of the best quarterbacks and just watch you just get mad at me all draft long, and then by the end of it, I got you to do some absurd trade. So it's real estate, baby. You got to play real estate. So I got my picks, right? And then I start dishing them out. I start trading them back. I think Eric even got one of his back. And I kept two picks. And as I'm dishing these out, I'm adding those 25, 26, 27, 28-year-old players that I want. And then when we get to the draft, I got a 1 and I got a 2. First pick, I go in there, I take JT, Jonathan Taylor. And then the second pick, I go in there and I take T. Higgins, okay? Both guys came straight out, produced. So that's how you have to do it. You have to say, is this class deep enough? And this one might actually be deep enough to get something of value in that 3rd round. We'll see. But it's really about how deep that draft's going to be and how you play with the real estate that you have during the year to get those fair to midland players that you want, or those up and coming, about to be right at that age. And that's one thing I'll say I probably shouldn't tell you, but one thing I really, really pay attention to is that 27-year-old. Like, I want to know I'm going into this guy's prime. Every year I go look at my team, I'm like, oh, he's about to be in his prime, or he's hella young. One of the two.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Like I said, I definitely just took notes on everything you said. So I got you pegged. No, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So
yeah, man, and I think to me, I'll try not to echo too many points that Jason had said, but for me, you're looking to win in a window, right? So dynasty is about a window. You can't have all old players. Sure, I mean you can, and you'll probably win that first year, and then hell yeah, you won the first trophy. But then what happens after that? You had short. So like if you drafted, let's say Adam Thielen, Julio Jones, all these awesome. I can't think of any running backs. All the running backs are young, so that's a different story altogether. But if you drafted a bunch of older wide receivers who really, really are productive, you're screwed at wide receiver for the next few years. And wide receivers take a lot longer to develop than running backs do. So a little piece of advice from me for anybody who's watching who's new to Dynasty would be focus on your wide receivers. You're young, almost into their prime wide receivers. So you're, like Jason said, 25, 26. That's what my approach was. I tried to look at it because I had listened to a million podcasts. I'd read a million articles on it. Jason, was it 2018 we tried that first Dynasty League with Jay and all those guys, but it obviously didn't end up working out. But
Right.
Jason and I's first Dynasty draft was 2018. My team was incredible. I mean, your team was really good too. But it kind of gave us an idea of what we were looking for. So for me, I'd read you're looking for a 3-year window. You want players that are going to be good for at least 3 years. So for me, if I'm doing a startup right now, I'm not taking Julio Jones. He might have one good year left. And I keep harping on Julio Jones. I love Julio Jones. He's been one of the best wide receivers for fantasy football probably ever. But he's just old now. Same thing with Adam Thielen. He's 30 years old. He's not going to be good for the next 3 years. Let somebody else take those older folks and really kind of capitalize on some of the younger guys. And what Jason had said, I'm going to freaking foot stomp this. You have to be active in trading. You have to, because you have to have what Jason said, real estate to go make those moves. You have to know, and Tran said he also gets, Julio Jones also keeps getting injured. Yeah, he does because he's older. He's a big-bodied wide receiver, and it's just what happens, man. We saw AJ Green. It happened to AJ Green. He was amazing until he just wasn't. It happened so fast. So you have to have real estate to move around. You need to know when picks are valuable. You need to know when players are valuable. You need to work it exactly how it can. Or I don't know if you said a day trader, but you need to be a day trader in Dynasty. You need to look for the value, and that also goes with your startup drafts. If for whatever reason Adam Thielen drops to the fucking 10th round or something, by all means, go ahead and grab him. But it's about paying appropriate value for appropriate age and appropriate breakout potential. And
like we'll give them. We keep using some examples from my team. The Wes Welker trade and Nick Johnson. I give him Wes Welker. I get AJ Brown and Corey Davis. Flash forward 2 years. AJ Brown is a monster. This was when he was just drafted. He had never played a game.
Yeah, he's a top 5 wide receiver in Dynasty.
He's a top 5 wide receiver in Dynasty.
Easy.
And again, he had never played a snap, so Nick didn't even know what he had. But I gave him Wes Welker, which was a name he knew, household name.
Yeah.
And I come back with AJ Brown, who is now a monster. I knew the potential was right there. And Corey Davis, who's made his way to another team to be a wide receiver 1, where he was wide receiver 2. Because I took a guy that was 23 years old, 22 years old, I think, at the time. But that's what you're looking for. You get that big time name, that reliable, trusty name, and you go take a few chances on some young guys.
Absolutely. Gotcha. Agreed. And that's the perfect way to say it, Jason, because Wes Welker was the end of his career, right? No, it was Julian Edelman. Not Wes Welker.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, no, it's fine. He's a white dude who played slot for New England.
Same person.
Yeah, I know. All white people look alike. We're going to get canceled. We're all white. It's fine. We can say this. We're not. Please don't cancel us. But it was Julian Edelman, and you knew he wasn't going to play for another 3. He wasn't going to be good for another 3 years. And then what happened that year? What happened this year? This is our. This will be our 3rd season going into our Dynasty League here. So, I mean, that's one of the best trades that's been done in our Dynasty League. Absolutely. And besides the giving up 3 first-rounders for Zeke.
Yeah, see, all my trades have been historical, Cam.
Well, I had a pretty historical trade. I mean, let's be real. I literally got all of a dude's picks for the next 3 years for Dalvin Cook.
Oh, you're the one that did that.
Yeah. I got all those picks. It was beautiful. Yeah.
Dude, this comment cracks me up. I love it so much. Cam to Jason to Eric. is the de-evolution of facial hair.
I love it.
You're well. Hey, my job won't let me have a beard because they're a bunch of freaking buttholes. So
It's like this little doo-doo stash.
yeah, they let me have a little stupid like stash, but
It's a little doo-doo mark.
yeah,
On
I don't like it at all.
It's okay,
But
Eric.
boys, hey, this is a good pod, I believe. We definitely got some good facts in there. Cam got a rant or two or three or four, and
I
I
got a
believe we have.
bunch. Keith's gonna love this
And I
episode.
think we have one more bear fact, don't we?
Yeah. So sorry, my phone locked on me. So grizzly bears possess the biting force of over 1,200 psi, which is enough to crush a bowling ball or an iron skillet, but not enough to crush Eric's fucking dreams of ever winning our dynasty league.
Oh, that's not.
Oh,
All right, Cam's. I'm muting Cam now.
Bear facts.
Watch, he's gone. All right, last thing for the night, boys. Last thing for the night. It is the mighty, epic kneel down.
I'm so ready for this.
as we get closer to the draft, I need everyone to stop looking into the bright lights. As the weekend says, you got to watch out for those blinding lights. We are probably in the middle of the biggest media bullshit hype session ever right now because we didn't get a combine this year. So, because we don't have a bunch of numbers to attach to people, we got to create all other kinds of smoke screens and all other kinds of drama because NFL Network's going to be on TV every day, baby. And we got to make up all kinds of bullshit, and we got to get people all confused about what's really going on with this year's draft. I know a lot of times people will say, oh, well, the combine, either they dislike it because it gave a bad player good statistics that got him drafted higher than he should have been, or the inverse, a player who didn't have enough tape showed what he was really able to do through those statistics and ended up moving up. Okay? This year, we're looking at tape. There's going to be a lot of deep guys in this draft that get drafted and nobody saw them coming. Obviously the scouts did, but I'm talking to you all, the fantasy universe, the people who are just trying to have fun with it, who aren't studying tape all day long every day. And hey, if that's your gig, if that's what's fun for you, hell yeah. But
This will get your dick hard.
this will get your dick hard, man. But here's the biggest thing we got to remember when we're looking at this, because every day they're going to feed you some bullshit. I wouldn't even be surprised if they try to tell you Trevor Lawrence isn't number one pick next week, just because they're out of ideas. Okay, and we've seen it before. We've seen that kind of stupid drama before. But here's the deal: we know this. Trevor Lawrence is going number one. That's not going to change. It's done. Nothing's going to change there. It would have to be the most insane trade ever in the NFL for that to not be a fact. Agreed?
100%.
Absolutely.
Wrong.
Absolutely.
Okay. But start at number 2. Zach Wilson went from not the guy to making one across his body pass in his pro day. And boom, all of a sudden, he's the second coming of Joe Namath. But he'll probably be more like the second coming of Mark Sanchez because we're overblowing some pretty mild statistic stuff here, and it really all started with one video. Eric, I think you might agree with me on this. No one was really biting until that pass was made in that pro day, and all of a sudden it's erupted. Fields was the guy. Justin Fields was all anyone wanted to talk about. It went Lawrence and Fields. Then all of a sudden, Justin Fields isn't talked about at all. Not even at 3. Everyone on TV would have you believe right now that Mac Jones is going number 3. Here's why I believe you won't. Final point for the kneel down. We're getting undercover. We're going spy mode here. All right.
I like this.
So, Robert Saleh for the New York Jets used to be employed by Kyle Shanahan. Okay. Jimmy Garoppolo used to be the quarterback for the New England Patriots. Backup starter, whatever. When we look at the situation with this trade, moving up to number 3 to ensure that Bill Belichick knows that you intend to take a quarterback and that Jimmy Garoppolo is very available. is the first thing I want to point out. Secondly, you need Robert Saleh to believe you don't like Justin Fields. That man was in your camp. He understands the offensive genius you are. If he sees, even for a second, that's the guy, he's going to take it. So you need to do everything in your power. All your buddies on all the different news stations and all on podcasts and people that worked with you going around making sure everybody knows it. Mac Jones is your guy. To me, it's total bullshit, and I think everybody should go ahead and drop this idea that Justin Fields isn't going number 3 on draft night. Eric, what do you say?
Sorry, I muted myself. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is the season for bullshit. It is 100%. I've heard it's been crazy, man. I don't know what the Vegas odds are right now because Vegas is very, very in tune with these type things. But I've heard all sorts of things. Mac Jones, Trey Lance. To me, it's Justin Fields. It has to be Justin Fields. He is the most talented one. Zach Wilson was getting a little bit of hype before the pro day stuff. I won't say a little bit. He's been talked about by quite a few people as being the number 2 or 3 quarterback in this class. So he was the consensus top 3, we'll say. But you're right, man. It exploded after that. I saw that. I mean, that pass looked real nice.
Yeah, real nice pass, but I mean, there's also no defense. So
exactly, and he played at BYU, I think. So I don't really think his competition is very good. I'm on record saying I like Justin Fields as the second best quarterback in this class. You and I argued about that quite a bit over a personal text message thread.
Yeah, and at first I was had. At first I sat back and I said, "Oh my God, this makes all the sense." This is definitely a double up for me, and I think that's why I wanted to talk about it because it is so easy to fall into the bullshit because they have you convinced instantly. Oh yeah, it's the perfect fit. In reality, you just don't want the guy who just left you to be better than you, and hey, who could blame you?
No, 100%, man, 100%. So, I mean, I think either way, San Francisco is pretty happy whether they get Zach Wilson or Justin Fields. I just hope they don't make the mistake of grabbing Mac Jones. I don't know. I mean, maybe he'll do well in that offense, but that's another story for a different day. We're almost an hour and a half here, boys. We've been having a good time. We've been having fun. It's been awesome. I love the kneel down. It's right. Y'all just ignore – I don't want to say ignore the media, but just take it with a grain of salt. Take everything with a grain of salt. But that's it for – what's that?
It's all meant to be fun at the end of the day.
Play like Cam. Play everything on emotions. Fuck it.
Yeah. No stats or nothing like that. But, hey, no, for Jason, for Cam, for me, EJC NFL Pod, we're out of here. 1 second. We got to plug the Dungeons and Drag Routes YouTube channel. That's our Dynasty Fantasy Football League. Cam does an awesome job with the YouTube videos on that. They're not PC. They are not something to watch with your children. So just keep that in mind. But definitely go check it out on YouTube. It's really funny. It's really awesome. But that's it for us. Y'all have a good night and be good out there. Stay safe. Hey, and the draft is coming up real soon, y'all. Real soon. We'll see y'all next week now. Woo!